Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. Now for today's video, we've got a brand new company on the channel. This has actually been a very popular subscriber request, so I'm finally glad to bring it out to you guys and talk about this company in a little bit more detail. We're going to be doing a deep dive on their business model. The company name is Vsblty, and they're involved in the retail and security analytics space. So very compelling, very big growth opportunity ahead of them, and super excited to talk about this one today. Now before we get into today's video, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below if you've heard of this company before, if you're currently holding shares, and how you think they stack up to some of the other competitors in this space. Now with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a company by the name of Vsblty Group Technologies Corporation. Now this one has been referred or recommended to me by a number of subscribers. It's been on my list to take a look at for a couple of months, and I've now finally gotten some time to dig into this company. Now for full disclosure, this one is not currently in my portfolio. I do not hold any shares of Vsblty at this point in time, but it definitely is a compelling business model. And in my opinion, it would really be a nice complement to companies such as Control Technologies or Universal PropTech that are really focused on smart building technology. Now Vsblty Group is focused on security and retail analytics. So they use AI, they use real-time detection for a host of different services. Their primary form of revenue is service as a software. So they sell these solutions to various companies or vendors across the world. We're going to talk about some of the big contracts they've signed in South America towards the end of the video. And they really harness a lot of this futuristic technology to be able to detect persons of interest or POI, points of interest, such as weapons or things like that that may cause risks in public settings. In addition to that, they've got a whole host of digital signage solutions for retailers and vendors, and then analytics that pair in very nicely with both of these services to give businesses and owners real-time feedback about the clients or consumers that are in these spaces. Now in terms of video format here, I did want to kick it off with the chart. Then we're going to take a look at some recent news in relation to Vsblty Group. Then we'll take a look at the investor presentation and wrap things up with, again, some of these big contracts that they've secured over the next couple of years. Now I've been following this stock throughout the week here. It's been highly volatile, bouncing around, very similar to a lot of the other companies that I follow and talk about on this channel. Obviously, we're right in the heart of tax loss selling now, so it's really taking a toll out of a lot of these small and medium cap type of companies. Vsblty Group is about a $220 million market cap based on Canadian currency at this point in time. They closed out December 15th session up 5 cents, so about 4% per share, to close out at $1.19 Canadian. They trade under the ticker symbol VSBY on the Canadian Securities Exchange, and also in the US on the OTC under the ticker symbol VSBGF. Now they closed out on the US side of things at about 88 cents. So again, depending which currency you're looking at, they're either slightly above or slightly below $1 per share, making this a true penny stock in every sense of the word. Now if we look back to the middle of November, you can see November 12th here, they were closing in on the $2 mark. $1.89 was kind of the high water point. They have pulled back considerably, and again, I think this does present a buying opportunity here if this is something you're looking to gain exposure to in your portfolio. And again, we're talking security and retail analytics in terms of what the Vsblty Group is really offering. Now, I thought this article was interesting. It came out on November 29th, so fairly recently here. We've seen similar articles from KNR. It's really talking about the sales pipeline and volume of bookings in relation to Vsblty. So they talk about their Q3 corporate update, and if you scroll through the article here, you can see the CEO and co-founder Jay Hutton, who we're going to take a look at in a second, is talking about the strong quarter in terms of bookings that landed at $4.5 million, and that's in terms of US dollars. And as a result of that, the Q3 revenue actually came in at $522,000 US for Vsblty Group. Now, in addition to that, Hutton goes on to say that their Q4 revenue is already considerably ahead of pace in terms of where they were at in Q3, and they're anticipating a very strong finish to this calendar year. So again, considering the market cap of this company, you guys, they're putting up about $600,000 per quarter. So on an annualized basis, maybe let's call that $2 to $2.5 million US. So they are still trading at quite a rich multiple, but based on some of the future growth that we're going to talk about towards the end of the video, I still think this may be a compelling buy. Now, in terms of their book to revenue ratio, it came in at about 8-to-1 for Q3, meaning every $8 of bookings the company had resulted in $1 of top line revenue. So I did want to quickly throw that into today's video just so you guys have a rough idea of the revenue run rate of Vsblty Group. Now, with that being said, we're going to switch gears here. We're going to jump into the investor presentation. So I'll give you a quick high-level description of the company before we jump in. They're headquartered in Philadelphia. Vsblty is a world leader in proactive digital display, which transforms retail and public spaces, as well as place-based media networks with service as a software-based audience measurement and security software that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning. So very future forward here, you guys, really harnessing computer power and computer technology to make smart decisions in terms of security and retail or digital signage display for these vendors. Now, this technology represents a transformative combination of rich interactive content and real-time data collection not available anywhere in the world in a single turnkey solution. So end-to-end solution being offered here by Vsblty. Beyond simple signage, Vsblty allows consumers to interact with the displays, manipulate the content, and engage in a rich, immersive shopper experience through intuitive touch. So I really could see augmented reality being the bolt-on or the next step here for the Vsblty Group. But at this point in time, very future forward here, you guys. And again, using AI, machine learning to enhance that experience, both on the retail, signage, display side of things, and on the security or safety side of things as well. So in terms of company overview, again, they're utilizing AI or artificial intelligence to transform and advance computer vision. Vsblty is a disruptive computer vision software company that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to transform both retail and security solutions through an extendable, scalable, and subscription-based platform. So again, in terms of revenue here, guys, this is a recurring revenue stream based on this software as a service or subscription-based software. Now, we've already talked about the two distinct verticals being security and digital display, so we're going to build out on both of those pillars here in a second. The security application or pillar uses cameras to monitor vast areas, detail specific items, or identify persons of interest. They then measure the audience, provide real-time analytics, and are able to see objects and potential threats in real time using artificial intelligence. So they don't actually rely on an individual person to identify these threats. Now, on the digital side of the house, they have digital display applications, which you can see below here. So a variety of different signage in different use cases or applications, which allow users to engage and analyze customer behaviors and prompt additional consumer actions. So you can imagine digital signage is much more interactive compared to traditional roll-ups or billboards. They can actually guide consumers or customers through the store, and they can interact two-way with the customer to enhance that buying experience. Now, we already talked about monetization or revenue, so primarily through service as a software and the fees associated with that. And they're actually looking to evolve their service offering to provide a full-service SME solution, which again will be an additional form or stream of revenue down the road. Now, the real value I see here, you guys, number one, on the retail digital display side of things, obviously it's getting more and more difficult to attract consumer attention. People are now glued to their cell phones. They're used to interacting digitally, and they need two-way involvement in order to keep attention. So I think this is really the way of the future in terms of digital signage or advertising. On the security side of things, my mind really goes to the big data space. There's so many interactions on a day-to-day basis, and although the pandemic has really slowed down some of these huge social gatherings, we are starting to see things come back online, and in those type of situations, it's virtually impossible for a human eye to detect all of the security threats at once in real time. So I really feel like this proprietary analytics and the algorithms behind this artificial intelligence really empower Vsblty and their platform or host of solutions to have a competitive advantage over traditional security systems or even traditional monitored security systems. And that's exactly what they talk about in this red box here. They're able to interpret mass amounts of visual data simultaneously, and those decisions can then trigger actions in real time to hopefully prevent threats and ultimately save lives. So now that we have a general understanding of what Vsblty Group is about and the various different products or solutions that they offer, I did want to take a quick look at the leadership team. So we saw some remarks from the CEO, President, Director, Jay Hutton, a couple of slides ago. So Jay is the co-founder and a 25-year veteran software executive. So he's been around the block here. He has very strong connections in the software industry, and he's seen and done a lot of things that are very relevant or transferable to this business. Jay actually started out his career at Gandalf Technologies. He then moved into a position as VP of Ascend Communications, and this was actually in their rapid growth phase in the tech boom or dot-com boom there in the late 1990s. That ultimately led to a sale worth $24 billion to Lucent Technologies in 1999. So he's been involved in some major merger acquisition type of situations. He's got 10 years as a CEO in private equity, and he's also introduced electronic payment options to New York City's taxi cab network of over 13,000 cabs. So that's really transferable here. Later in the presentation, we're going to talk about some big applications or use cases for Vsblty technology. And I think the ability of Jay to roll out on a massive scale to thousands of vendors or customers simultaneously is really going to be crucial as the Vsblty Group starts to expand to bigger and bigger clients. Now, we're not going to go through the rest of the leadership team in detail, but between Linda, Tim, Fred, and Jan, there's a host of experience here, you guys, and really well-rounded group of people in terms of operational experience. So again, if you're looking to invest in this company or add it onto your watch list, I would highly recommend you go in and you take a look at the leadership team here. Penny stock type of companies, you really are investing in the vision or the people behind the idea more so than the financials at this point in time. Now, with that being said, we're going to jump over to the total addressable market. You guys know that I love talking about TAM, compound annual growth rate. So they've split this out very nicely into the two verticals. So the market size in terms of the retail vertical, and then market size in terms of security. So retail is considerably smaller here, you guys. It represents a total addressable market of about $32 billion with a compound annual growth rate of 8% through to 2025. Now the problem here, and we talked about this briefly a couple of minutes ago, is traditional POS or point of sale and OOH, which is out of home advertising, have limited engagement. People are almost oblivious to this stuff now. They've been bombarded so many times with advertising, they really just turn a blind eye. There's hardly any measurement on audience engagement. There's no analytics, and there's no attribution to the actual sale. So the solution here, at least in terms of Vsblty's solution, is to bring the advantages of online advertising and that per-click analytics to the brick and mortar landscape with innovative digital displays, security, and analytics solutions. Now, digital signage is much more attractive, it's much more interactive, and it can actually follow customers or people around the store as they make buying decisions. So it's very beneficial and ultimately should lead to higher average purchases or higher average revenue volume for these locations. So in terms of advertising dollars, you're going to see higher ROI or return on investment for the various different brands or retailers that are working in combination with Vsblty. Now on the security side of things, this represents a much bigger piece of the pie. So this is about a $190 billion opportunity, higher compound annual growth, so 10% annual growth rate through to 2023. And the problem here, as we alluded to earlier, is traditional camera-mounted security systems rely on human analytics or analysis to alert a security team. And as we all know, humans have errors, humans make mistakes, and a lot of times they just can't react or interpret the volume of data needed to make decisions in real-time scenarios with vast amounts of people and interactions happening simultaneously. So the solution, again, Vsblty, digital signage, cameras, and proprietary software provide a holistic security application that can be used in big public settings, so things like schools, casinos, retailers, or other public spaces. Vsblty has a proprietary facial recognition software, and they can alert system assistants or security teams in real time to help raise the level of public security overall. And what's really cool here is you can see a use case application on the bottom right. So they can actually go in, they can identify the type of consumer or person in the public space. And they've got a proprietary system here that actually takes measurements of various different human emotion levels. So things like anger, fear, happiness. And that gives an overall score per individual that's seen on the screen. So they can quickly identify if a person is happy, mad, sad, or even acting erratic or posing a potential security threat. Now that being said, the two verticals combined represent a total addressable market or opportunity of about $220 billion over the next 4 years. So super exciting. And again, this is why we're starting to see that market cap or valuation that we talked about at the start of the video, because the opportunity and the roadmap ahead of Vsblty Group, although they're just starting to ramp up now, really is quite tremendous. So now that we've talked about the two verticals or pillars behind Vsblty Group being retail and security, I wanted to talk about the various different software modules that really make both of these solutions possible. So there's 3 distinct modules laid out in the investor presentation. Number 1 is Data Captor, then Vision Captor, and Visibility Vector. So we'll start at the top here. Data Captor, this is really the analytics component of the software. So Data Captor leverages camera and sensor technology with, again, AI, machine learning, and computer vision to provide real-time analytics and audience measurement. So whether this is used for the security application or the retail customer application, this is really focused about the analytics, the computing power in order to measure and analyze crowds. Now the next one on the list, Vision Captor, is really about content management. So this provides a wide variety of capabilities for bringing proximity-aware, interactive brand messaging to life on any digital screen or platform. So you can imagine these are the kiosks in the mall that you go up and interact with. These are the digital displays in the various retail locations. And you can actually see some examples or use cases of that below in various different retail settings. So in appliance stores, convenience stores, liquor stores, things like that, where you actually have direct contact with the end user or customer. Now they also have POI security under the Visibility Vector. So POI security stands for Point of Interest Security. And this is actually a software module that interfaces with a comprehensive local or remote database to detect persons or objects of interest. So you can imagine here, if there's a person identified, a criminal identified as a threat, you can quickly pick them out in a crowd of people. Or if you're looking for specific objects, like say a weapon, you can quickly identify that in a large crowd or large group of people using this automated or AI-based solution, anything that's really within that camera's field of vision. And with that being said, it's really the combination of these 3 software modules that gives that holistic turnkey solution that Vsblty talked about in that initial intro. And that's a perfect segue to this slide here, which really talks about that powerful combination of those different software modules and the ability of those modules to actually transform public spaces. So you can see here, they actually integrate that interactive touch, the facial analytics, and advanced object recognition with high-impact digital display to solve the problems of traditional retail and security technology markets. Vsblty then again monetizes these solutions primarily through SaaS fees or software as a service, and Vsblty is really helping to lead the digital customer experience by disrupting traditional paths to purchase and helping to bring digital innovation to retail and other public spaces. So again, you can see some of the use cases down here: drive-through digital displays, digital camera integration, interactive touch. Here's the facial analytics platform, advanced object recognition, so you can see the weapons we talked about earlier. And then it's all centered around this big data, this AI algorithmic software that's able to interpret huge amounts of data in real time and make informed decisions, whether it's in terms of retail purchase behavior or in terms of potential security threats or opportunities. So as promised and alluded to at the start of the video, I wanted to talk about one of these huge use cases or actual applications we're seeing for Vsblty and their technology. So this is actually a joint venture signed between AB InBev, which is a massive multinational drink and brewing company, and Vsblty Group to actually build out a network of 50,000 stores in Latin America or South America. So it's really going to be a 4-year project. There's various different forms of revenue, and there's 3 delivery elements that are going to be featured in these various store locations. So again, if we think back to Jay Hutton's experience rolling out digital payment for 13,000 taxis in New York, this is exactly where that experience is going to come in handy or come in beneficial to the company. So you can see the deployment cadence, they're actually targeting 5,000 locations in year 1. That ramps up all the way to 55,000 locations by the end of year 4. There's 3 delivery elements. So again, digital display, audience measurement, and real-time operations data or a transaction log, and then real-time artificial intelligence-based security for these locations. Now these are going to be focused in multiple different companies. So Peru, Mexico, Colombia, and Ecuador are largely already underway. And they're forecasting media value per store or per location to be roughly $450 per store per month. Now that media revenue is actually going to be accrued by the joint venture. There's 33% participation. So Vsblty doesn't actually get all of that revenue, but they do get a nice component of it. And the actual license revenue or software licensing per store is estimated at about $10 to $15 per store per month. Now that license revenue component is not shared, and Vsblty actually gets all of that flowing through to their top line. So if you look at the overall media and license revenue over the 4-year term here, you can see it ranges from tens of millions up to hundreds of millions to about $250 million by 2024. And again, that's exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying 2021, 2022 are really going to be a breakout or transformative year for Vsblty. And I think that's really why they're starting to see that higher or relatively higher market cap and share price, because investors are starting to anticipate the future sales or revenue potential of this company and their software solutions. So this again is just one example or use case here of their technology, but I think this really will start to become the norm. And as they start to roll out internationally to some of these major international companies, they're going to start to receive more recognition, more investor attention, and I think things really could start to snowball in a big way for Vsblty Group. Now with that being said, I wanted to end out today's video with talking again about some of the investment highlights in this company. So again, for full disclosure, you guys, I currently do not hold any shares, but this is definitely one that's on my watch list, especially given this recent pullback in share price. So number 1, Vsblty's AI solution or artificial intelligence that's really transforming and allowing advanced computer vision to detect multiple different security threats and make major advances in digital or out-of-home marketing and media. They've also got the weapon recognition, so again, that person or point of interest, which could be crucially important as we start to see large-scale social gatherings ramp up post-pandemic. They're transforming the retail industry and really transforming some of that traditional or more boring advertising into these new proactive digital displays. They've got that all-star management team, which is highly notable in the industry. The scalability, so again, they're looking at an addressable market in the range of $220 billion by 2023, which we talked about. They've got that major booking or sales pipeline in 2021 projected around $15 to $20 million. So again, we talked about that at the start of the video. And the inflection point here, in my opinion, is the biggest reason to invest right now, you guys. Revenue is expected to absolutely break out in the back half of 2021 into 2022. So as we've discussed with a lot of these small cap penny stocks, this really does represent an opportunity, in my opinion, to get in right at the ground floor, right before they start to see that exponential growth. They've got the international partnerships, which we just talked about, one of those case studies, solution oriented. So again, offering end-to-end software solutions. And they do mention pandemic response solutions. And I think there's a variety of different ways the pandemic could interact with this company in positive or beneficial ways for the business model overall. So with that being said, you guys, Vsblty Group is definitely one I would throw on your watch list if you're looking for exposure in this type of space. There's a lot of exciting stuff going on here. I think the use case and the addressable market for this type of solution is massive. For those reasons, I would definitely recommend you go in and you take a deeper look. That's all for today's video. Leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think of Vsblty Group, their business model, and how you think they stack up to some of the other competitors in this space. If you're not subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And on a final note, if you're still watching the video at this point, make sure you hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to both myself and the channel. Now with that being said, that's all for now. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.